Hi, my name is Liam Goddard. Today I'm going to discuss the recommended daily allowance of added sugar. Over the past few years, one of the most common questions I hear is, how much added sugar should I consume each day, and what are the negative effects of eating too much added sugar? Before I get started, I should mention I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist. I am not a nutritionist. My recommendations today should not be taken as a diet prescription. For changes in your diet, you should seek the guidance of a registered dietitian or a medical professional. To get started, let's first define added sugars. Now, there's two different types of sugars in our diet. We have natural sugars and added sugars. Natural sugars, as the name suggests, are sugars that are naturally occurring in your foods, such as fructose in fruit or lactose in milk. Now, added sugars are any sugar that is added to your food or beverage during the processing or preparation of that food. Now, let's look at added sugar consumption in the average adult. In a 2014 study by Yang and colleagues, it was found that 70% of adults consume more than 10% of their total calories from added sugar, and approximately 10% of adults consumed 25% or more of their total calories from added sugar. Now, let's break that down a little bit. 25% of your total calories from added sugar. That's about 500 calories or 1/4 of your daily diet in sugar. That's a lot of sugar. So, how much sugar is too much sugar? There is no universally accepted guideline for added sugar consumption, but there are several well-accredited organizations that have spent years researching this exact question. The American Heart Association recommends that most women should consume about 100 calories or less in added sugar per day, and most men should consume about 150 calories or less in added sugar per day. That's 25 grams of sugar for women and 37.5 grams of sugar for men. And that's not a lot when you consider that the average can of soda contains about 35 grams of sugar. So, sorry women, but one can of soda puts you over your daily limit right off the bat. Now, the World Health Organization recommends that less than 10% of total daily calories come from added sugars. Based on a 2,000 calorie diet, that's 200 calories or about 50 grams of sugar. So the World Health Organization is a little more lenient than the American Heart Association, but still that recommendation is less than the majority of adults. And by that I mean 80% of adults are eating more than the highest recommended allowance for added sugar. Now, let's put these recommendations into perspective, and let's consider this based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So the average can of soda, as I said before, contains about 35 grams of sugar. That's 140 calories in just added sugar, or 7% of your total calories. Now, if we're basing that off of that 10% or less, you are less than 10%, but you're not leaving yourself a lot of room for sugar the rest of the day. Let's look at cereal. Your average breakfast cereal contains about 12 grams of sugar per cup, and honestly, who eats just one cup of cereal? That's 48 calories and 2.4% of your total calories. Now, there's a lot of products out there that are labeled healthy or natural, a lot of protein bars and cereal bars, but you need to be careful and really look at the back, because a lot of these healthy products are loaded with added sugar. On average, these cereal bars and protein bars have about 28 grams of sugar in them. That's 5.6% of your daily caloric intake. Now, that's already half of your recommended value, just on-the-go snacks. So now that we have a better idea of how much, the question is why? Why is consuming too much added sugar bad for us? For one, the increased calories from added sugar will significantly raise your total daily calories. Now, this is an issue that we've seen for years now, and it's led to our recent obesity epidemic. A study in 2009 by Nguyen and colleagues reported that an increase in added sugars can result in an elevated blood pressure. A study in 2007 by Scribner, Pollock, and Ludwig found that a high sugar diet resulted in an increased inflammation and oxidative stress. Diets high in added sugar appear to be associated with increased triglyceride levels a known risk factor for coronary heart disease. Yang and colleagues, 2014, found that participants who consumed approximately 17 to 21% of calories from added sugar had a 38% higher risk of cardiovascular disease mortality. Now, these are just some of the major side effects of a high sugar diet. Research is still being done and new findings are regularly coming out. The take-home message here is to simply cut back on added sugars. This can prove challenging and it's going to require you to change your eating habits. A simple way to begin this change is to start reading your food labels. Look at the nutrition content of your foods to see just how much added sugar they contain. And you might ask, well, how will I know if the sugars in my foods are natural or added? The easiest way to determine this is by looking at the ingredient list on the back of your food. Added sugars can be disguised in your foods under several different names. If you read a food label that contains the words corn sweetener, high fructose corn syrup, invert sugar, malt sugar, sugar molecules ending in OSE, dextrose, fructose, glucose, lactose, maltose, sucrose, then you're most likely consuming added sugar. Another way I like to do it is don't buy foods that are prepackaged. Go get natural, healthy foods. Making a change like this is not easy, and removing foods from your diet that you enjoy is never fun. So take small steps, make little changes. Even small changes in dietary habits can have a positive effect on health. Good luck, everyone, and thanks for taking the time to watch this video.